They say the only thing constant in life is change. So this edition of Jamaica Magazine is about the ever-going transformation of one of the island's most visible public agencies. Plus, we also dabble in a bit of history and culture with a feature on one of our traditional folk forms. I'm Adrian Atkinson, your host. Stay tuned. We have the news of the day right after this message.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, February 15. A joint anti-gang task force consisting of members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF and the Jamaica Defence Force JDF has been launched. Details of the task force were provided by Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson and Chief of Defence Staff Rear Admiral Antoinette Weems-Gorman during a press conference Friday. Commissioner Anderson says the task force, which has been operational for over a week, is proving to be effective.
Over that week, we have seized 7 illegal firearms, 1,200 pounds of compressed ganja. We have disrupted a illegal alcohol operation that was funding a particular gang. And we have arrested 4 persons for lottery scamming and another 16 of them to make a total of 20 persons who are involved in violence and crime.
The task force will concentrate on ridding the country of illegal guns as well as dismantling gangs and their criminal networks wherever they exist in the country.
The JDF will bring dynamic and flexible military expertise to this task force, ensuring joint intelligence and the securing of the spaces in which we engage. This will allow the JCF to focus on the pursuit of gangs and the apprehension of their members who terrorize communities.
Meanwhile, the police commissioner says the joint anti-gang task force has received specialized training to ensure members work seamlessly in both the military and policing environment.
As part of that, we have recruited some 70 plus persons, young Jamaicans, who had gone through the Jamaica National Service Corps program. They trained for a year or so as soldiers, and then we recruited them and ran them through the entire police training program. So these are qualified soldiers, qualified police officers, and they make up part of the task force and are familiar and comfortable in both the military environment and the policing environment. And that's part of creating the synergies to work more effectively as a joint group.
The team is working with CTOC, the Anti-Lottery Scam Task Force, and territorial police divisions across the country, which gives them more capacity to deal with situations that could become or are highly violent. In other national security news, the ministry is continuing to improve its information and communications technology ICT network with significant budgetary support in the new fiscal year. The 5-year security strengthening project has been allocated over $1 billion to fund the procurement and installation of ICT devices in the 2022-2023 budget cycle. Details of the spending is outlined in the estimates of expenditure recently tabled in Parliament. The project is aimed at improving connectivity and overall operations across key agencies. Among the targets for the new financial year are the installation of surveillance equipment at the Department of Correctional Services, as well as network drops for JCF high-priority sites. Fiber optic cable and a mobile command center will also be purchased for the force. Implementation of the JCF case management system, the station's record management system, and the jail management software will also be completed. The Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine and the Firearms Licensing Authority have benefited from the program since its start in 2018. Construction of the Westmoreland Police Divisional Headquarters is scheduled to begin this year. The project has been allocated $700 million in the 2022-2023 budget, adding to the revised $180 million given during the current financial year. It's being financed from the Consolidated Fund. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the design has been completed and the contract is up for tender.
That station will cost about just over $2 billion. We are committed to it, and I said it's gone to contracting and being evaluated as we speak and should be able to begin before the end of the year. When that's up, we will refurbish the station at its present location so other officers that there can stay, but you'll have a city police post, city police station. But the police officers will have a functioning headquarters to operate from.
It's expected that 50% of the project will be completed in the upcoming financial year, with full completion targeted in the 2023-2024 fiscal year. Construction of the new headquarters falls under the Ministry of National Security's Project Rebuild, Overhaul and Construct, designed to provide improved facilities for the police force. And finally, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has received a vast assortment of medical equipment and supplies to support its COVID-19 response. Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton accepted the donation on Friday from United States-based healthcare provider Northwell Health and logistics partner MedShare. The donation of over 1 million items is valued at more than $800,000. They include respirator masks, N95 masks, oxygen concentrators, nasal oxygen, safety eyewear, and protective gowns.
One of the most important lessons of the pandemic is that we are all in the pandemic together. And what it means is that those who have resources, who have vaccines, who have supplies, it is also in their interest to share as much as possible.
The donations today complement our ongoing efforts to keep the public safe, from preparation to ensure adequate supplies of oxygen and other critical equipment to support the work of the personnel in the field.
The cooperation that is necessary for each of us to help each other is the only way that we can successfully deal with issues like COVID. And I'm hoping that this what we've done here mutually together is the first of what we can continue to be doing going forward.
And that's it for JI's News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was in Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up.
Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence.
A whole way of celebrating it. They say the people them come here, you know. But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, burn up. Them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal, panta for it, you know. Amount of tongue we give them,
The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it pre.
Why pre?
Activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration.
I forgot to download the app to get the updates then.
Did I thank you earlier for tuning in to our show? If not, I'm not only going to say, but show you how much I appreciate your viewership. Here's a behind-the-scenes look at the production of not only this program, but other products offered by the Jamaica Information Service, and how we are transforming to serve you better.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday.
As the agency mandated to deliver credible information on the government's policies and programs, the Jamaica Information Service, more popularly known as JIS, is very focused on fulfilling the information needs of the Jamaican people while satisfying the needs of its clients and stakeholders.
Salt Spring Primary and Junior High School students get learning devices.
Over the years, The JIS has evolved as a one-stop media production and public relations hub, supported by a team of highly skilled professionals, sound managerial practices, and cutting-edge technology. This evolution is a demonstration of public sector modernization in progress, a journey which for JIS began in 2001 when it was merged with JAMPress, the then press agency for the government, and given executive agency status.
As a Model B executive agency, JIS is mandated to earn between 40 and 65% of its expenditure from fees, and this is generated through services which we offer to more than 200 ministries, departments and agencies, in addition to the core services which we carry out every day, which is the coverage of government's events and initiatives.
JIS is expected to be efficient and effective, responsive to customers' needs as it delivers world-class public relations, media, and computer services and products.
We have used JIS services in several ways. We have recently concluded our virtual conference, which was a tremendous success. And in that, JIS has assisted us in social media or brand awareness. They have created storyboarding for us. They have done all our videos they have done. And it was to the international requirement.
With customer satisfaction and service delivery driving its performance, JIS has implemented many initiatives to improve revenue, increase its presence, and modernize services.
The JIS over the years celebrated some key achievements. The most recent is our ISO 9001-2015 certification. We've been recommended, having successfully completed our Stage 2 audit by the National Certification Body of Jamaica. That's our most recent achievement. But over the years, we have been recognized by the Press Association of Jamaica. We have been recognized by other media partners. Our credibility and accuracy in our output has been appreciated by those media partners and our stakeholders. Our revenue, we have generated more than 200% in gross revenue, 78% in net revenue over the last 5 years.
Working at the JIS now, there's more excitement in what you do. Earlier at JAMPress, there's limitations in terms of what we could do and how quickly we could do it. Because of the new technologies that we're working with now, we're able to decrease our turnaround time, which allows us to do more work, satisfy more clients, which is good for revenue.
The JIS is balancing its role as an executive agency, improving its operations, delivering quality services while supporting Jamaica's vision.
JIS is ensuring that we play a lead role in informing Jamaicans and telling that story of Jamaica's development. We want to ensure that our citizenry is informed and better able to make decisions, also able to access services, the services of the government.
The Jamaica Information Service is performance-driven, client-focused, results-oriented, transforming and positioning itself as part of a modern public sector while keeping Jamaicans informed as the country moves towards becoming the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
I encourage all Jamaicans to be a part of the My Tree Legacy promotion. Planting trees is important and critical to our survival. It builds resilience. It provides us with air, water, and food. Go out today, plant a tree, renew your environment.
Register your alma mater for the Forestry Department's My Tree Legacy promotion and be a part of the preservation of Jamaica land we love. Let us highlight your contribution to the My Tree Legacy promotion by submitting videos or pictures of you leaving your mark. Every tree counts. Plant a tree today and keep climate change away.
Even though we are upgrading our system to keep up to date with the latest technology and equipment, we are still the #1 record keepers of history and culture. Watch how we capture a bit of culture and history in this feature on a Jamaican traditional folk form.
There's no one way to truly play the beat of our Jamaican culture. No one way to unfold the depth of the various movements that are intricately intertwined with the drums, or whatever uniquely made instruments that accompany each other. And certainly, no one way to shake our hips, tap our feet, move our hands or dress to distinguish the truest form of our heritage in dance. But there are certainly several ways to tell the island's tale of musical artistry and infectious rhythms. Today, we tell the story of the African retention in one of our Jamaican traditional folk forms, Dinky Minnie.
In order to showcase the intricacies of this cultural treasure, we visited the Islington Cultural Group in St. Mary. Dinky Minnie is of African origin of the wake and is usually performed on the 2nd to 8th night of the traditional 9 nights after the death of a person. It is very lively and celebratory in nature because its main purpose is to cheer up the bereaved. The distinguishing characteristic and basic movement of Dinky Minnie is dab step.
You can dab to the side or forward and back. So the dabbing movement is on the ball of the foot, the ball, and as if the floor is hotter, you're taking it up. Aye, aye. So you get a dabbing step, and you can dab forward and you can dab back. Forward and back, or to the side. To the side or forward and back. You can bend a little more. And you can forward and back. The more you bend, that's what you get the beauty of the movement.
Another movement is the gallop step, which is done with the knees together as the dancer hoops and splay the legs apart with the knees still held close. The flexed foot pumping movement happens when the weight is firmly on the left foot. The right foot is then flexed, and this working leg is pumped across the body in quick jabbing movements. The corkscrew movement is also done, but mostly by the ladies. It is a spiral rotation of the torso, using the ball of the right foot and the left one flat on the ground.
And I should say too, in the Dinky Minnie, the dominant thing for the males is the knock knee. Just as what I was doing the dabbing, the knock knee, the knock knee.
Dinky Minnie is considered a dance for couples and takes the form of a ring game, utilizing circles and semicircles. The dancers sing using mento style, and the songs are mainly call and response.
The dominant instrument in Dinky Minnie is the benta. The benta is like 4 joints of bamboo, and in the middle is like a piece of it is lift and replaced with some strings like line, and then on that line and attached with 2 bars at the ends, and it is placed on a block when it is being played, and then you have the gourd, we call it gourdy. The seeds are taken from it, and there's one hole in it, and that hole, from that, it moves along the the strings, the line that they use for the strings, and it gives a nice little sound. A coo, a coo, a coo. So as the gourd move along the strings, it gives a nice little sound. A coo, a coo, a coo, and that is where you get the steps from, the dabbing step.
Other instruments such as the grater and rattle and bass drums join in keeping the dancers going.
We have to remember that for our traditional folk forms, they can dance forever. That's why you find that when they go to the night and dance, they can dance from night right back to the next morning. Why? Because all of our movements is basically done in a bent knee position. And when you're in a bent knee position, you can dance, you're relaxed, and you can dance for a long period of time.
Like all the other African retention folk forms, there is a specific dress code for both genders. Loose skirt and peasant blouse for the females, and a tailored pants and a dashiki shirt for the men. Today, Dinky Mini is mostly practiced in its home parish, St. Mary. But it is also commonly performed as part of the annual Jamaica Cultural Development Commission's Festival of the Performing Arts Competition. No matter where it is practiced, it's hard to not notice Dinky Mini in action, with its distinctive rhythm, which plays a key role in our island's rich traditional dance legacy.
When you hear the names of places like Old Harbour, Spanish Town, Bogwalk, what is the one thing that they all have in common? They are in the parish of St. Catherine, and St. Catherine is my parish. It's my home, and it is also the home of Jamaica's first free black community, Sligoville, the third longest river, Rio Cobre, and some of the oldest bridges. The historic cast iron bridge is 81 feet long and 15 feet wide. It was built in 1801 and is said to be the oldest of its kind in the Western Hemisphere. Today we take a look at some of the things St. Catherine has to offer, so join us on our journey through this historic parish.
All over beach are the best community. Fish them proper, everything that's good. Original fish we have over here, no bomb fish. We large here, extra large. We think shot over here, you hear?
We're in the farming district of Colbeck, visiting the Colbeck Castle. Though the castle is just in ruins, the walls still stand. So let's take a journey through it. The origins of Colbeck Castle are shrouded in mystery. There is very little reference to it in the early records, but it is believed to have been built at the end of the 17th century when Jamaica was seized by the British. Colbeck Castle is among the oldest plantation houses in Jamaica.
Me pen pour us, one already, two alright.
That may not have been their exact words, but all were aboard this very station waiting to travel either east or west of the island via the Old Harbour train station. Today, this Georgian-style structure, though broken, still stands and the train still traverses its tracks, carrying Jamaica's precious commodity, bauxite. But that one shipment of bauxite moved from Old Harbour and passes through the historically shaped Spanish Town. then onto the famous Aki Commerce area of Linstead. By now you would have probably figured out where we are. We are at the Flat Bridge, and I read that the Flat Bridge is sometimes called the 16-mile walk. Why, you may ask? That's probably because in the 1700s, the 16 plantations surrounding the Bogwalk area had to send 1 in every 50 slaves to work on the river road. Before there was the highway, whenever the Rio Cobre overflowed its banks, motorists had to travel through Sligoville, the same Sligoville that was the first free black community in Jamaica.
Sligoville is a community that is made up of some smaller communities, but Sligoville is the hub. Sligoville is the base where most of the historical activities took place. We are standing on one of the 30 acres of land that were distributed as free villages. That is once a house that is supposed to be using from those days. But what happened is that during slavery, the slave master would live up on the top part, and below it, they have a little cultivation for the slave. It has all the attributes of a house being used at that time, because they have wackland, dab, and things like those. So it's one of the old-time houses.
Our journey today ends here in Riversdale, the home of the Natural Bridge.
This area, we used to play pokinas, keep party, and stuff like that. There's a cave that can lead you to about 20 miles, about 18 miles from here to a next district they call Crawl.
What is pokina?
It's like a card pack, right? But it's a book, like a bingo book, with all the cards on it. Like the queen, the art, but it's a big book where you use stone and mark it, and you pick that card pack. And when you pick that card pack, the number that come up, if you have it, just like bingo.
So bingo is a newer version then of pokina.
Yeah. Well, the Natural Bridge is a great place, as you can see. It's the 8 wonders, and it's built out of strictly stones. No addition. It is just stone, so it's natural. It's just natural. So I'd like people to explore it, see what it's all about, and they can see it for themselves.
"177 steps later, and we're finally back at the top. So guys, what you've just seen is just a little bit of St. Catherine's history. The parish has a lot more to offer. So gas up, gear up, go and go the road now.
We've come to the end of this edition of Jamaica Magazine. Please visit our JIS YouTube channel or website to watch this and any other show. And don't forget to visit our social media pages and leave a comment or like. I'm Adrian Atkinson. On behalf of all of us here at the JIS, do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.